Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I hope you are doing well. I'm back with another psychological consulting project. In today's video, we're going to explore a question many students struggle with. Why do perfectionists procrastinate? We'll answer it using a powerful but beginner-friendly tool, structural equation modeling or SEM. But before touching any statistics, let's understand the psychology behind the question. Perfectionism isn't one thing. Psychology breaks it into three types: self-oriented perfectionists, which means they put pressure on themselves. Second type are socially prescribed perfectionists, which means they feel pressure from other people. And other-oriented perfectionists, which expect perfection from everyone else. Now, let's see how these traits connect to procrastination. Many perfectionists delay tasks not because they are lazy, but because they're scared of not meeting their own standards. And that fear can create a cycle. First, they overthink it, then they avoid it, and then they feel guilty about it, and finally, they avoid even more. And this cycle is going on many times. So perfectionism and procrastination go hand in hand. Now, here's the question. How do we test this scientifically? This is the point where SEM comes in. Structural equation modeling is simply a way to test several relationships at once. And instead of running three separate regressions, SEM lets us see the whole picture. And with the help of SEM, we can answer these questions. Do these types of perfectionists predict procrastination? Which ones matter most? And how strong is each effect? And now you might be thinking, why not just use multiple regression? Why bring in something as big as SEM? And I would say that's a great question, and it's exactly what many students wonder. But the problem is that multiple regression only lets us look at the outcome one at a time. For example, if I wanted to only test whether three types of perfectionists predict procrastination, I could run one regression because it tells us the relationship between procrastination and perfectionism. But what if I also want to test how these perfectionism types relate to each other? The thing that I wanted to know in this example. And if I wanted to know whether one type indirectly affects procrastination through another type, or whether all these three factors form a bigger hidden concept. So multiple regression can show this relationship between types at once. But SEM, on the other hand, treats your model like a map. It shows you a whole network of relationships that work together. It allows you to test direct effects, indirect effects, latent variables, hidden variables, and the structure of the whole model in a single analysis. So the point isn't that multiple regression is wrong. It's just incomplete. Now that we rolled out multiple regression, we can break down SEM a little bit more. Let me show you how it works with this project of my psychology student that we were talking about. But before going further, I just want to let you know, this is a simulation of the original dataset, and for the sake of privacy and copywriting, we use this one. So we had 93 students. We measured 5 variables for them. GPA is their academic performance measured on a scale of 0 to 20. 3 types of perfectionism, which were measured using a 1 to 7 Likert scale to rate agreement with statements on a questionnaire like the multidimensional perfectionism scale. One more time, I just want to tell you which one is what in case you forget it. Self-oriented perfectionism is having internal high standards. Socially prescribed perfectionism is feeling others expect perfection. And other-oriented perfectionism is expecting others to be perfect. And the last variable that we measured was procrastination. Our model was simple. Each form of perfectionism tries to predict procrastination. Imagine these boxes are the 3 types, and this big box on the right side is procrastination. These arrows represent the effects we're testing, the thicker the arrow is, the stronger the relationship is. That's really the whole idea of SEM for this research in one picture, unlike multiple regression that everything is separated. Before going to see the results, I just want to make a clarification. In this video, the goal is to narrow down the question, the methodology, and see the results. In the next video, we will do the analysis step by step in R. So if you want to learn the codes, just wait for the next video. But for now, let's look at the results. Here's where the story gets interesting. So based on the results over here, self-oriented perfectionism strongly predicted procrastination, and socially prescribed and other-oriented perfectionism did not. This means that students who push themselves the hardest are actually the ones who delay tasks the most. Honestly, it wasn't unexpected. But what about academic performance? Does GPA change anything? We also tested that. We tested whether GPA changes the relationship or not. And in simple terms, we asked, do high-performing students break the perfectionist procrastination cycle? Before telling you the answer, I just wanted to tell you something. You might notice there is no arrow from GPA in this diagram. This is because GPA acts like a filter or magnifying glass, not a direct predictor. So let's see the result. In our results, the answer was no. GPA didn't make the effect stronger or weaker. So here's a summary of what we found out about this research. SEM helped us understand why some students procrastinate. They procrastinate not because they don't care, but actually because they care too much. And that was it. As I said, the statistical analysis of this research in R will be covered in the next video. So stay tuned. Next week you will learn it. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.